What's up, y'all? Sparta here, and I want to do a video. It's pretty much an update on the Galaxy Note 9. Now, yesterday, Samsung released a video showing their findings on what went bad with the Galaxy Note 7. As far as why it exploded and all that. Well, not exploded, but some people say exploded, but it more caught fire. Now, what happened was essentially there were like gives in the battery in the upper right corner of the battery where intense amount of stress would like decide to have certain adhesions. Oh shit, my bad. In the battery where it would cause it to be abnormal. Now, there could be a few causes of this, as far as they would not necessarily say there was not enough space around the battery for like heat dispersion, as I've said before. Therefore, like maybe due to the fact that the phone was so thin as well, that it would cause it to not have enough fucking like enough ways for heat to vent out. Especially due to the fact that the Note 7 and even shit, my S7 being so thin, not having any ways to have, not having a removable battery or anything to have the heat vent out of the damn thing, of the back of the phone, so the battery wouldn't, do what it did, or the phone would be super hot, like, stuff like that. Now, despite the findings with the Galaxy Note 7, Samsung still said they're going to make a Galaxy Note 8, but they're skipping MWC this year for the Galaxy S8. And they're probably just going to plan on being safer as far as, what they do with that phone. That, which for them, they should. And I'm really glad they're deciding to still stick with the Note line, despite the fact that it may be tarnished in a lot of people's minds. In my mind, not necessarily, because iPhones have caught fire too, and that hasn't tarnished the name. But I guess when you look at a Samsung phone, it doesn't necessarily have the same staying power in a lot of people's minds as an iPhone does, which is weird because Samsung phones sell more than iPhones, but whatever. Now, as far as the Galaxy Note 8, I want to talk about the things that I want to see. Overall, I want to see a thicker phone, a thicker design. To me, it made no sense that the Galaxy S7 Edge had a bigger battery than the Note 8. And credence could be held to how thin the fucking Note 7 was. I said Note 8. I know I said Note 8. But you know what I meant, Note 7. It made no sense that the Note 7 was so damn thin and had a smaller battery than the S7 Edge. It made no sense to me. So I want them to bring a thicker phone an overall thicker phone, and I want them to have a bigger battery in there. Hopefully like a 4,000 milliamp hour battery or something, if they plan to still keep the glass on glass construction, which they probably will since they value and have been pushing wireless charging, with wireless fast charging and all that stuff. Now, despite that, I want them to have an overall different design from the S line. I don't want it to look just like a bigger and bloated Galaxy S phone. I don't want that, because that's all this really looks like, is a bloated Galaxy S6. And that's what a lot of people had issues with last year with the Note, not last year, but 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago with the Note 5, is that it just looked like a bloated Galaxy S6. Or it looked like a Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. God, that name is so long. Did Capcom help them name that phone? But It just looked like an inverted Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, where the curve on here was on the back, the curve was on the front on the fucking S6 Edge Plus. But yeah, I just want a bigger battery. Hopefully, since all the rumors have led to the fingerprint scanner, not them no longer having a home button, I hope that they do something different and try and put it in the heart rate sensor slash right there. It would make sense entirely due to the fact that it scans your finger anyway to get your heart rate. The other obvious thing would be having it in the screen as well. That would be cool too. But I'm used to normally when I use this in my S7, I tend to fucking have my finger on the heart rate sensor a lot when I'm like holding the phone in my hand. For I don't know, it just feels natural. So I would actually like that a lot if they did that. The other, as I said, the other obvious thing is to have it embedded in the, have it embedded in the screen or something. Now, as far as, the iris scanner and stuff, I believe they should keep that. They're obviously going to go USB Type C. They have to at this point. I want them to have some type of stereo speaker setup, either front facing or, the HTC Boom sound speakers, or if you want to do it, go with the iPhone array, or even better, I'd say go with maybe what's that? The Huawei Mate 9. Which also, slight side note, that's going to be coming to the U.S. for $600, which is actually a good price point. I was hoping it would be around that, not like $799 or some shit, or $699. So depending on how my money is, I was about to say paper. Depending on how my money is, I might get that as well for the channel and let you guys see what I feel about it. Especially since it has a dual camera setup like the V20 here. It has a lot of similar features to the V20. I want to, talk about that. Now, what else to talk about? Overall, they need better battery optimization as well. For me, it really makes no sense that now this phone is still on 100, but I bet you I just took it off the charger. But I bet you if I had both of these in my pocket, this isn't going to be my overall and versus video. This is just an update video, essentially. I bet you if I had both of these in my pocket, the G4 would still be on 100 while the Note 5 would probably be at 99 or 98, which isn't bad. But as far as, what I normally use my phone for, I normally, on break, I like to look at my phone, look at what's happening, and be like, oh, okay. Then put my phone back down or put my phone back in my pocket or whatever. And the Note 5 wasn't necessarily bad with that, but compared to the V10 that I had at the time when I had this, the V10 would still be on like 100% 3 hours until my day, while this would probably be on like 80 or something like that. But so yeah, better battery optimization. Hopefully push fast charge 4.0 or something, which they probably will. It's kind of a guarantee since they're working with Qualcomm. Water resistance, obviously. Samsung pushed that last year. It would kind of be stupid for them not to have it this year. More S Pen features. I was hoping that with the update that I got for this Note 5 that I'd be able to do the GIF stuff and all that. But I can't yet. What the fuck you mean Wi-Fi disconnected? I don't know. Whatever. But want them to have. I hope like with the newer update, they have the always on display come on here too, because it doesn't necessarily seem like it's specific with this particular AMOLED screen. It just feels like it's software based, as opposed to like the G5 where you can clearly tell it's a different kind of screen, so they can't necessarily put it on the G4, and they don't even need it on the G10, the G10, the V10, because it already has its secondary display. But it's going to push the always on technology. It's going to push USB Type-C. Hopefully they have a better speaker array, whether it be like HTC's boom sound speakers with a lot of, I forget how it is, but because I haven't got to play with, I didn't get to play with the HTC 10 very much since T-Mobile had it briefly. And sorry for this being like in the right side of the screen. I'm just not trying to have it right here because it's quite obvious. But as far as what I want, as I said, what I want from the Note 8, excuse me, is a better Note 7. A Note 7 I couldn't play with because I barely even got to touch it at T-Mobile. I got to play with it at like the Samsung Experience, like little kiosk in Best Buy, but that's pretty much it. And I thought it felt great, I thought it just felt like this, but with curves on the front. And I love the Note 5. I really do. The flack that this phone got is really stupid to me. I do wish it did have a micro SD card slot for sure, but overall it was still a great phone. It's not a phone that's like jack shit or anything like that. Hell, it still performs better than, the S7. It does. It's not as optimized, but does better, like, certain things better than the G4, And I'm going to put this against my V20 here pretty soon. I just want to do a quick, update video as what I think of, the Note 8 and what I think of Samsung and their process of testing their batteries, which I forgot exactly all of it, because I was just more interested in what they found out. But look on their channel and I'll put a link in the description with the video and all that, because I can't necessarily tell you guys right now because I kind of forgot, because it was like late at night when I looked at that. So I was like, oh, okay. At least they found out what happened. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as this video. I'm not trying to make this a 20-minute video, but as far as what happened with the Note 7, it's really sad, and I really wish it didn't happen because I really wanted the Note 7. But I'm really glad that Samsung is not about to just kill off the Note line, or I would have at least been okay with them skipping this year and waiting till next year for the Note 9 or whatever. I would have been okay with that. But as far as this goes, this has been Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel, and have a good one.